天启篇，自然状态下野蛮会吞噬文明。In the natural order, barbarity overcomes civilization. Jiefeng, December 10th, 2024. If you sow wild grass seeds and wheat seeds together on the same piece of land, then return after a few years, what will grow more abundantly, the wild grass or the wheat? If a wolf cub and a human infant are raised together without any external intervention, which outcome is more likely? The wolf cub becoming human, or the infant turning into a wolf? If an adult is placed among a group of thugs and lives with them for 3 to 5 years, will he emerge as a refined gentleman, or will he turn into a thug? If Elon Musk had been immersed in Confucian culture from childhood, would he have become today's globally celebrated technological Iron Man, or a staunch cultural conservative? There is a profound truth in nature. In the natural order, barbarity overcomes civilization. A person living among scientists is likely to become a scientist, while someone living among thugs is likely to become a thug. If an angel remains surrounded by devilish influences for an extended time, the angel will likely become an accomplice to the devils. Civilized people are easily captured by barbarity, while barbarians are exceedingly difficult to civilize. The more primitive, barbaric, ignorant, backward, and crude something is, the stronger its survival instincts and resilience. If a particular culture endures for thousands of years without falling, it proves that the culture possesses a strong capacity for corrosion and assimilation, signifying that it is relatively barbaric, ignorant, backward, and crude, rather than advanced and civilized. Recognizing the principle that barbarity overcomes civilization in the natural order, anyone aspiring to become a civilized person should vigilantly avoid the following 8 pitfalls. Avoid working or living in barbaric and backward places as much as possible. Avoid places that are closed off and unfriendly to outsiders. Steer clear of unreasonable and barbaric people in your vicinity. Distance yourself from those who cling strongly to traditional ideologies. Gravitate toward advanced, open, and civilized places. Seek the company of civilized individuals. Avoid losing your temper or complaining. Instead, focus all your energy on moving closer to civilized places and communities. If you cannot escape a barbaric or ignorant environment, strive to maintain independence and adhere to civilized principles to the greatest extent possible. Living in a pigsty for a long time will eventually turn you into a pig. Living in a sheep pen for a long time will turn you into a sheep. No matter how diligently one practices or cultivates in a pigsty, one cannot become a celestial or a Buddha. If one's consciousness is burdened by notions of marriage, family, nationality, religion, political parties, or the pursuit of money, power, and fame, then no amount of effort will lead to heaven. Walking toward heaven is the most valuable and the wisest choice in life. 人类人生篇，人生到底有没有意义? Does life have meaning? Jiefeng, December 25th, 2024. On the internet, many people claim that life has no meaning. Let us explore whether life truly has any meaning. In a pigsty of 10 pigs, an old pig said, "Life as a pig has no meaning. We spend our entire lives in this sty, doing nothing but eating, drinking, sleeping, and rolling in the mud. There's no other purpose." A boar replied, "There's also mating. Mating is meaningful." A piglet chimed in, "Drinking our mother's milk and playing with my siblings in the sty makes life as a pig very meaningful." Hearing the pigs discuss the meaning of life, the pig farmer couldn't help but laugh. He thought to himself, "What do you know about the meaning of your existence? Your purpose as pigs is to grow fat so that I can slaughter and eat you." A Buddha overheard the pig farmer's thoughts and found them laughable. He thought, "Raising pigs is your duty, but slaughtering and eating them negates your merits. From then on, you'll have to start over from zero." What is the meaning of life as a pig? All the pigs knelt before the greatest creator and pleaded for answers. A deafening voice echoed from the heavens. As pigs, your existence is to repay the debts of your past lives, where you lived recklessly and harmed other living beings. By living as pigs and settling your debts, you can be freed from this existence and reincarnate as humans. That is the entire meaning of your lives as pigs. If you ask pigs whether their lives have meaning, they won't know. They cannot comprehend the purpose of their existence. If you ask humans whether their lives have meaning, they won't know either. Humans cannot fully grasp the purpose of their existence. 人类正在按照我的构想演进. Humanity is evolving according to my vision. Deform Buddha. December 27, 2024. The future of humanity is unimaginably beautiful. A world where every individual experiences such profound joy that it leaves them trembling in awe. I will eliminate the roots of human troubles, worry, pain, anxiety, sorrow, fear, and apprehension, so that people live as if in paradise, transforming Earth into a true utopia. Let me share my vision and the steps I will take to bring it to life. I will abolish marriage and family. I will dissolve nations, political parties, and religions. I will erase wealth disparities, along with banks and currencies. I will remove national borders. I will eliminate theft, robbery, invasion, war, unrest, corruption, fraud, deceit, and bribery. I will eradicate poverty and hunger. My plan is for everyone to live to the age of 120. Over the course of their lives, they will experience living and working in at least 40 different locations with diverse climates, geographies, and seasons. They will immerse themselves in temperate, frigid, and tropical zones, in regions with distinct 4 seasons as well as those with only rainy and dry seasons. They will share life with people of various races, languages, and cultures. Each day will be filled with joy, and their lives will be intoxicatingly fulfilling. When they reach 120, will they simply die? No. After 120, I will send some individuals to live on Mars, not in their physical bodies, but by transferring their consciousness onto chips that will be transported to Mars. Once there, their consciousness will be replicated into robotic bodies, allowing humans to make a spectacular transformation from carbon-based life forms to silicon-based beings, continuing to relish the infinite joys of existence. For others, I will guide them to higher dimensions such as the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium Celestial Islands continent, where they can enjoy the bliss of being celestial beings. Can anyone stop this plan from coming to fruition? No one can. No president, billionaire, philosopher, scientist, or thinker can halt the progress and realization of my vision. My advice is this: do not resist this tide of change. Align yourself with it or risk being eliminated by the programs of the new era. For anyone wishing to step into this unparalleled, wondrous new era and live within my vision, there is one essential course you must take: the soul purification course. Of all matters, this is the most urgent. Do not miss this once in 10,000 years opportunity. 心灵篇。求道的结果是什么? What is the outcome of seeking the Tao? Deform Buddha. March 1, 2007. Seeking the Tao has no outcome. Where is the Tao? Fish live in water. Humans exist within the Tao. We are already within the Tao, so where is there to go in seeking it? Thus, the act of seeking the Tao is like riding a donkey while searching for it or asking, "The monk is still here, so where have I gone?" When we regard ourselves as seekers of the Tao and feel smug or self-satisfied, thinking we are enlightened, that is precisely when we are most lost in self-delusion. How could seeking the Tao ever have an outcome? Everything in the universe is a process. No matter how life evolves, its essence is a process. Therefore, to seek the Tao is to seek the process, not the outcome. The wise words of Gaoshan Lu Shui remind us, when the search for truth brings increasing joy to your life, then you are on the right path. But when it brings increasing pain, then your path is mistaken. Indeed, this is true. Are you happy and joyful in this very moment? If so, you have found the Tao and are resonating in harmony with it. Are you troubled and distressed right now? If so, you have lost the Tao and are out of sync with it. To seek the Tao means to seek happiness and joy. A day of happiness and joy is a day of attaining the Tao and living as a celestial. A lifetime of happiness and joy is a lifetime of living as a celestial. Interestingly, those who live a lifetime of happiness and joy are the most likely to enter the heavenly kingdom, while those who live a lifetime of distress and anguish are less likely to do so. So let us seek happiness and joy. Pursue happiness and joy in every moment and savor the present. The experience of the present moment is the outcome. Seeking a future outcome is like chasing after tomorrow. Tomorrow upon tomorrow. How many tomorrows lie ahead? If we live for tomorrow, all will end in regret. Note, explanation of the monk is still here, so where have I gone? Story mentioned above. Once upon a time, a government escort, known as a guan chai in ancient China, a type of subordinate government agent, was tasked with escorting a monk convicted of breaking monastic precepts to exile. Every morning before setting out, the escort would carefully check 4 things: his belongings, including food and money, the official documents needed to complete the mission, the monk, as losing him would mean grave consequences, and finally himself. Only after ensuring everything was accounted for would he begin the journey. Day after day they traveled together, crossing rushing streams, dense forests, desolate paths, and towering mountains. Over time, the escort and the monk grew familiar with each other, forming a bond like that of friends. As they approached their destination, one cold and stormy evening, they stopped at an inn to rest. The monk, seeing an opportunity, said to the escort, "You've taken such good care of me on this long journey, and our parting is near. Let me repay your kindness. I still have some money left. Shall we have a good meal and some wine tonight?" The escort was delighted and called out for the best food and drink. Feeling relieved of his responsibilities for the night, he drank freely and soon fell into a deep, drunken sleep. Seeing the escort had fallen into a deep sleep, the monk seized his chance. He found the key to his shackles, freed himself, and shaved the escort's head clean. He then switched his prison robe for the escort's clothing and locked the shackles around the escort's ankles. Before leaving, the monk chuckled and said, "See you, my friend," and disappeared into the night. The next morning, the escort woke up feeling refreshed. As usual, he began his daily routine of checking everything before resuming the journey. First, his belongings still there. Next, the official documents also present. Then he looked for the monk but couldn't find him. Confused, he started to rise, only to be tripped by the shackles now on his own legs. He rubbed his head and was shocked to feel smooth skin. His head was completely bald. Looking down, he realized he was wearing the monk's robes. A sudden thought struck him. The monk is still here, so where have I gone? This humorous and thought-provoking story serves as a metaphor for losing oneself while navigating life's processes, urging us to reflect on the elusive nature of self and identity. 了尘缘结仙缘, transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties. Deiform Buddha. March 24, 2006. The methods of self-practice and cultivation are as vast as the ocean. As a path toward becoming a celestial being, transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties is a crucial practice. Everything is governed by karma. Bonds are formed when karma arises and dissolve when karma ends. Those with destiny will meet across 1,000 miles, while those without it will not meet even face to face. Regardless of distance, whether spanning thousands of miles, traversing mountains and rivers, or extending across different realms like the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, blissful world, the animal world, the netherworld, or the frozen layer. These bonds are difficult to sever and must ultimately be resolved. Every interaction we have, whether with parents, children, friends, colleagues, neighbors, or even adversaries and enemies, is rooted in karmic causes and effects. Without cause, there is no ripple. Subconsciously, nothing unrelated to us can occur. A careful analysis of all our encounters reveals that they are tied to past karma. There is no love without cause, no hatred without reason, no arrival without karma, and no departure without it. This understanding teaches us that self-practice and cultivation must focus on fully resolving worldly bonds and broadly forming celestial ties. Resolving mundane bonds and forming celestial ties involves 2 key aspects: resolving ties with worldly individuals, letting go of attachments to the mundane world. At the same time, one should actively form connections with celestial beings, Buddhas, and those with celestial affinities, while striving to shift one's consciousness from the human world to the celestial world. Resolving ties with worldly individuals. Resolving ties with worldly individuals primarily involves repaying debts owed to them. As Jesus taught, "You will not get out until you have paid the last penny." Debts must be repaid. If not in this life, they will carry over to the next, or even the life after that. As long as we owe debts to worldly individuals or society, we cannot leave the human world and will be bound to reincarnate here to repay them. The greater the debt, the lower the life level, and the smaller the chance of entering the celestial world. Letting go of attachments to the mundane world. Honoring parents, raising children, caring for siblings, and contributing to society are all forms of debt repayment. Their purpose is to resolve worldly bonds, avoid reincarnation, and free oneself from suffering and hardship. A key principle of self-practice and cultivation is, better to let others owe me than to owe others. Do not seek advantages. Give more and take less. This approach not only helps repay debts, but also accumulates wealth in the heavenly kingdom. Avoid deep involvement with worldly mortals whenever possible. Do not extend kindness or harbor malice toward them. Do not accept their favors, as worldly benefits often hinder the path to the heavenly kingdom. For example, if you are a doctor, never accept extra gratitude from patients. If you are a government official, never accept extra rewards or bribes. Do not let short-term benefits cloud your spiritual vision, planting seeds of future suffering. It is evident that forming ties with wicked individuals will entangle you in their troubles. If they end up in jail, you may be implicated or, at the very least, disturbed for a period of time. If they descend into hell, you might have to follow to resolve your karmic ties. Proximity to vermilion makes one red. Proximity to ink makes one black. Worship Buddha, gain Buddhahood. Worship demons, gain demonic traits. Frequent exposure to the river makes one wet, and frequent trips to the well will eventually break the pot. Being close to the mountains makes one familiar with the sound of birds. Being close to the water makes one understand the nature of fish. Staying long in fragrant places makes one unaware of the scent, while staying long in foul places makes one oblivious to the stench. Understanding these principles early allows us to distance ourselves from harmful places and people before regret becomes too late. The best way to repay debts. The best way to repay debts and resolve mundane bonds is through formless giving, generous acts of merit without attachment. By accumulating wealth in the Tao's bank, the Tao will automatically help repay your debts. Thus, a debt owed to person A doesn't have to be repaid directly to them. It can be repaid through formless giving to persons B, C, and D. For example, if your parents have passed away and you haven't repaid the debt of their upbringing, you can repay it by accumulating merit through selfless actions for others. Forming celestial ties. Actively forming celestial ties involves interacting with those who have celestial and enlightened roots. These individuals not only avoid bringing trouble into your life, but also bring happiness and joy. As the saying goes, when one person attains the Tao, even their household rises to heaven. While this may not be entirely literal, it highlights the profound influence celestial ties have. By forming deep connections with them, your chances of entering the heavenly kingdom increase. Connections between Life-genuine celestials are essentially celestial ties. If you form bonds with 10 celestials who become celestial beings, the karmic ties between you will inevitably guide you to the celestial world, as these bonds will naturally pull you along. The benefits of transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties are profound. Reflect on and savor these truths, and once you understand the principles, you will know how to approach self-practice and cultivation. 自敬人不见. Self-purification is the key. Jiefeng. September 3, 2007. At Dar es Salaam Airport, I observed people casually discarding scraps of paper onto the ground. At Singapore Airport, however, not a single piece of litter could be found. People consciously maintain the pristine public environment. In high-end hotels, no one spits on the ground, while in small roadside eateries, people spit freely. Shops that are elegantly decorated, clean, and tidy often have few customers, while chaotic and cluttered ones are packed. Many people decide whether to enter a shop based on the appearance of its displays and storefront. If a shop appears too perfect, people may feel intimidated, perceiving themselves as unworthy of entering such a luxurious and refined space. In some homes where everything is tidy, orderly, and spotless, guests often feel restrained. Their speech and posture become cautious, and they dare not act casually. Similarly, when viewing nude images in erotic magazines or on websites, people might feel an overwhelming desire to embrace and engage in sensual acts. However, when viewing nude paintings by master artists in an art gallery, such impulses vanish, replaced by a profound sense of beauty that uplifts the spirit and soul. Even when faced with a living, naked beauty, if her figure reflects the golden ratio of perfect curves, her demeanor exudes purity, her speech is elegant, and she radiates compassion and harmony, it is impossible for anyone to entertain impure thoughts. Sexual impulses dissipate, leaving only admiration and reverence. Being in her aura feels like an exquisite happiness. Even a single glance provides an indescribable satisfaction. Some might feel it an unparalleled honor to serve her eternally. Any act of disrespect would leave one feeling deeply ashamed of their soul's flaws and inadequacies. Perfect things elevate people, fostering nobility and civility, steering them away from base desires and guiding them toward the heavenly kingdom. These examples reveal a profound truth. Self-purification is the key. Self-purification is the key means that when one achieves inner and outer perfection and elegance, others will naturally refrain from tarnishing or desecrating it. Dirty places invite litter and spitting, while clean and tidy environments inspire people to restrain themselves and strive to maintain the beauty. To prevent others from littering or spitting in your courtyard, you must first create an attractive and clean environment. To stop people from gossiping about you, you must first cultivate a perfect heart and exhibit refined speech and behavior. Just as the saying goes, where flowers bloom, butterflies naturally gather. Self-purification prevents desecration. We often notice an abundance of flies in certain places and complain about how annoying they are. In truth, the fault lies not with the flies. Flies don't land on unbroken eggs. Flies avoid clean and beautiful places. If there are many flies, it's because the environment is too dirty. To keep flies away, the best solution is to improve your surroundings. Many parents complain about their children associating with bad company, blaming those people. However, such complaints are misplaced. The problem lies not with those individuals but with the children themselves, and ultimately with the parents. The more beautiful a place, the fewer people frequent it. Conversely, the dirtier and messier a place, the more crowded it becomes. Crowded places are rarely ideal, while tranquil spots are more likely to be beautiful. This explains why the 1,000-year world is sparsely populated, the 10,000-year world even more so, and the celestial islands continent the least of all. Similarly, the human world is densely populated, the animal world even more so, and hell is the most crowded of all. When art is profound, its audience is limited. The more refined and perfect a life structure is, the lonelier it becomes in the human world, as there are fewer kindred spirits. When your emotions are as subtle as a flowing stream and your thoughts as ethereal as mist, how can ordinary people understand? The grains of sand by the sea are delicate, but the silt in the lotus pond is even finer. The wind is subtler than the silt, and the light is more delicate than the wind. Emotions that stem from the soul are subtler than light. As this subtlety increases, fewer people can appreciate it. When one's heart enters the antimatter world, their emotions become so refined that they are imperceptible, almost empty. How can the people of the human world appreciate them? It becomes intangible, mysterious. Therefore, such individuals become increasingly lonely. However, the ugly duckling among the ducks will inevitably find resonance with the swans it encounters. Once it spreads its wings and joins them in flight, loneliness will vanish, for it has transcended isolation and found its kind. In summary, to dwell in a beautiful environment, one must first achieve self-purification. Purify your intentions. Do not blame your surroundings, as everything around you is drawn by yourself, be it your parents, spouse, children, siblings, colleagues, friends, race, environment, era, and so on. Everything is of your own making. The gate to the heavenly kingdom is narrow because self-purified individuals are scarce, whereas complainers and blamers are abundant. Beyond the other shore. Deiform Buddha. May 31, 2006. Rivers have this shore and the other shore, and so does life. From the shore of a river, one crosses to the other shore by boat, disembarking upon arrival. Similarly, from the shore of life, one crosses to the other shore using the physical body as the vessel, abandoning it upon reaching the destination. Some do not believe in the existence of the other shore. Some doubt its existence. Some know it exists but are unaware of its conditions, and some wish to reach it but do not know how to get there. Christopher Columbus once sought funding from the Spanish king and queen for a maritime expedition. Columbus believed the earth was round, reasoning that if one kept moving forward, they would eventually return to the starting point. The king and queen were skeptical and convened a committee of renowned scholars and geographers, including theologians such as St. Augustine and Christian philosopher Lactantius, to evaluate the feasibility. The resulting report stated, "Would anyone be foolish enough to believe in a place where people walk upside down, their feet against ours, their heads pointing downward? Or that such a place exists where trees grow downward, and rain, snow, and hail fall upward? Declaring the earth to be round is merely a defense of such myths about the existence of polar opposites. The western Atlantic is boundless and perhaps unnavigable. For centuries, no one has discovered any uncharted, useful lands there. Others said, "Your Majesty, Columbus is undoubtedly a fraud, attempting to swindle money for his indulgences. Should you fund him, the world will mock your Majesty. The only solution for such a swindler is execution by hanging." Those who ridiculed Columbus lacked a holistic understanding of the earth. Jesus Christ knew of the other shore. Buddha Shakyamuni knew of the other shore. The spiritual guide of life Achanuan also knows of the other shore. Christ did not describe the conditions of the other shore. Buddha did not provide a complete discussion of it. To lead people to the other shore, the guide of life Achanuan has come, inheriting the mission of Christ and Buddha to fulfill the will of the greatest creator. The 36-dimensional spaces can be seen as 36 distinct other shores. For life, the most ideal other shores are the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world. The least desirable ones are the netherworld, the frozen layer, and the fiery refining layer. Naturally, few will believe this account, just as experts in Columbus's era doubted the Earth's roundness. The guide does not expect everyone to believe it. 1% of the population will suffice. As for how to reach life's ideal other shore, only one person in the world knows, and that is the guide of life Achanuan. Trust in Christ was not misplaced. Trust in Buddha was not misplaced. Trust in the guide of life Achanuan is also not misplaced because Jesus, Buddha, and the guide are one and the same, indistinguishable. Many may think the guide of life Achanuan is a grand deceiver, motivated by fame and fortune. To this, the guide has no response. Buddha once renounced the chance to become a king. He had no desire for it. Many sought to make Jesus a king, but he fled. Speculating that the guide seeks kingship is baseless. If possible, the guide would prefer death and has no desire to remain in this world even 1 second longer. Consider the story of the spider demons who captured Tang Sanzang, offering what they believed to be the finest delicacies, including plump insects. The spider demons thought this was the ultimate hospitality. But if you were Tang Sanzang, would you eat such food? Or imagine a pack of dogs that fought incessantly and eventually begged a human to become their king, bowing humbly and sincerely. If you were that human, would you accept the role of their king? Delicious insects may be prized by spiders but are unsuitable for Tang Sanzang. They are not his food. A king of dogs, no matter how prestigious, does not suit humans. It is not their calling. Do not think I desire anything in this human world. Even the humblest citizen of the heavenly kingdom is nobler than a king, president, or leader of this earthly world. If you approach with sincere scientific curiosity, you will believe me. If you have spirituality, you will believe me. If you understand divine revelations, you will believe me. If you grasp Christ's heart, you will believe me. If you comprehend Buddha's teachings, you will believe me. Do not assume I will preach to you as Jesus or Buddha did. For most humans, compassion and universal love are ineffective. Without transforming the structure of your life, you cannot reach the ideal other shore. Stop aimless practices and haphazard cultivation. Cultivation is like launching a spacecraft into outer space. Every calculation must be precise. Blind attempts and wishful thinking are futile. Do not harbor the slightest delusion. If you lack clarity on even one calculation or entertain unrealistic expectations, you will never reach the ideal other shore. 生命禅院倡导的人生价值观 The life values advocated by Life Achanuan. Deiform Buddha. August 27, 2006. Life values are the compass and guide that help one adjust their direction in life, based on their worldview and outlook on life. Different values lead to different life paths. The vast diversity of lives primarily stems from the multitude of value systems. Jesus and Buddha's values shaped their divine and enlightened qualities, while Hitler's values shaped his demonic nature. Some enter politics, others engage in business, some become clergy, and others turn to theft or robbery. These life paths are largely determined by their differing values. Values represent a form of awareness. The way one lives and pursues life depends on this awareness. Many people spend their entire lives rushing around, yet achieve little. This often occurs because they lack clear values, or their values are chaotic and undefined. Such individuals rarely reflect on what is most important in life, leaving them unable to distinguish priorities or determine what matters most. They follow the crowd. When the east wind blows, they follow the east. When the west wind blows stronger, they drift with the west. As a result, they exhaust themselves throughout life without ever achieving clarity or purpose. A life without direction is blind. A life without values is confused. Life's sufferings and misfortunes often arise from the absence of a clear direction and set of values. Correct values stem from an accurate understanding of the universe, time, space, and life. To establish correct life values, one must first cultivate an accurate worldview and understanding of life. Our awareness and perception of the universe's myriad phenomena lead us to recognize a supernatural soul, the greatest creator, and the ordered operation of the universe. The force governing this order is the Tao, and everything operates under the control of the greatest creator's spirit, the Tao. We also understand that the universe consists of 36 dimensions, that life is eternal, and that death is not the end of existence. Life is merely a single journey of life itself, and the end of one journey marks the beginning of another. The quality of one's new starting point depends on the life quality achieved at the end of the previous journey. Those with higher quality life may ascend to heavenly realms, while those with lower quality life descend to lower levels of existence. Based on this worldview and understanding of life, Life Genuine advocates the following life values. The highest priority in life is to refine and perfect the non-material structure of one's being. Life is infinite, but a single human life is finite. Everything tangible that one gains through life's struggles ultimately amounts to nothing. Only the intangible achievements remain real and eternal. At the moment of death, what can one take away? Wealth, fame, status, and material possessions. None of these can accompany you. Even loved ones, parents, spouses, and children cannot follow. The only thing you carry is the quality of life cultivated through self-practice and refinement. As Jesus taught, this is the treasure stored in heaven. As Buddha taught, it is the fruition of enlightenment. The most valuable pursuit is to refine the spiritual structure of life, no matter the cost, ensuring entry into higher levels of existence after death to enjoy eternal life and bliss. For this purpose, we revere the greatest creator, life, and nature, walking in the way of the greatest creator. We perceive, pursue, verify, attain, and uphold the Tao. We heed the teachings of Jesus and Buddha, actively exploring the mysteries of time, space, and life. We do good deeds, repay all our debts to the world, and honor our responsibilities. We fulfill our duties wholeheartedly, engage with the world while transcending it, rise above the ordinary, and strive to scale the highest peaks of life and life. We accumulate merit through diligent work, storing treasures in heaven. We seek to sever worldly entanglements, forge celestial connections, and transcend the limits of time and space. We focus our vision on the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, and Elysium world, projecting our finite lives into the boundless expanse of eternal life. Moreover, we approach life as a game. Whether life is simple or complex, marked by gain or loss, brilliance or solitude, longevity or brevity, wealth or poverty, good fortune or adversity, it is all part of the journey. Life is but a journey, and at its end we all must disembark. Each day we live, we pursue freedom, joy, and happiness, striving for a life free of regrets. The earlier one understands the principles of life, the better. Tomorrow may mark the end of this life's journey. Every moment of life is priceless, and wasted time can never be reclaimed. Not a single moment must be wasted on illusions or the trivial concerns of the world. We do not fight with heaven, earth, people, or governments. Instead, we entrust our lives to the greatest creator and the Tao. We never surrender our lives to nations, political parties, religions, families, masters, spouses, gangs, organizations, or any individual. My destiny rests firmly in my own hands. 来自天国的祝福. Blessings from the kingdom of heaven. Deiform Buddha. April 27, 2006. Humanity is about to enter the Life Genuine era, a golden age lasting 1,000 years. The earthly paradise, the utopia, and a replica of the 1,000-year world will manifest on earth. This is the will of the greatest creator, the aspiration of gods and Buddhas, the hope of celestial beings and saints, and the ideal of wise sages. It is the long-cherished dream of countless generations of kind, diligent, honest, and trustworthy people. Forces representing light, justice, peace, and freedom will converge through the tunnel of time and space, from the distant kingdom of heaven, from the ancient past, from the remote future, and from every corner of Earth, to build the Life-Genuine era together. This is a momentous era, an era of profound cultural transformation, awakening consciousness, and opportunities for sages to achieve greatness. It is also a time of intense struggle between light and darkness. All life forms resonating with the values of Life-Genuine will enter this new age to enjoy 1,000 years of bliss. Those who fail to align with these values will be purified and eliminated from Earth, enduring the tribulations of 1,000 years in purgatory. A bright era of spring blossoms, blooming flowers, harmonious chirping birds, and universal harmony is about to arrive. In this new era, nations, religions, political parties, and families will disappear. Greed, selfishness, deception, and evil will be eradicated. Hunger, disasters, conflicts, anxiety, and disease will vanish. You will enter a paradise of life where lost items are left untouched, doors are left unlocked at